Starting. Okay. Welcome to PNRShow Season 3, Episode 19, Family Values.
I'd rather have lager than life. I'll take a strong stout over strife. I'd prefer to confer with a half pint of ale than live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail, so bring me lager for life. I'd rather have lager than life.
Live from the convention floor, it's the Pint of No Return show, where tonight we nominate family values. We hope that they will accept our nomination. And for running mates, who do we want for a running mate? Anybody but Pliny. Pliny the Elder.
Oxymoron, that was a good one.
Pliny the Elder is the Hillary Clinton of beers. Let me just say that.
That's a rough way to talk about your next president.
Dun-dun-dun. Okay. Sure. Hey, I'm from the I don't want either one of them party.
Yeah, so am I. But,
Thank you. All right. Anyway, that'll end. That's the end of our political discussion for this evening. We don't want to talk about politics. We want to talk about beer. But first, here are my co-hosts, Keith, Jeremy, and Gary. Hi, guys.
Hey. How's it going?
Hello. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to ya.
What the hell are we doing here on a Monday?
We're on a short week.
That's so tomorrow will feel like Friday and Wednesday will be so confused.
You know.
You know what? Tomorrow's my last day at work for the week, so that works for me.
Oh, awesome. Are you going up north?
No, it's the big old neighborhood-wide garage sale.
Ooh.
Wednesday is setup day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are garage sale.
So it's time to sell your crap and buy other people's crap.
No. This year we're selling all our crap to raise the money for our cat that needs millions of dollars in medicine and or surgery to survive.
Raise money for your cat?
Yeah, our cat.
Oh.
One of the two cats we adopted has a birth defect.
Oh.
And it can be fixed, but it's terribly, terribly expensive.
Aww.
And it can be managed with medicine, although it's not particularly easy to do. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in the Webster area, go and support Keith's garage sale.
Yeah.
And thank you for making this a very special Pint of No Return show.
Yes, it is. And if you happen to be in Webster and coming by my garage sale, there's like 32 other ones in walking distance.
But stop by yours first.
But ours will not only have great junk to buy, we'll be accepting donations for the kitty. We're also selling food and beverages because it's going to be hot that day.
Yay.
So
wait a minute, how hot's it going to be?
It's going to be close to 90 again out here.
That's hot.
I laugh at your 90.
Nope, that's hot.
I laugh at your 90.
Whatever, Texas.
102 today. Thank you. That's all right.
But without the humidity, right? It wasn't.
We had the humidity. No, we've got the humidity too.
He gets the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's great. Now, granted, October to April is awesome in Texas. So, but anyway.
Hey, you opened a beer.
We're doing week 4.
I did. I'm skipping ahead because I'm damn thirsty.
Week 4 of Beer Camp. And for tonight, from the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp, we've got the Family Values Imperial Brown Ale. So where are we in our beer camp experience? What's happening at camp? I think it's like it's past the halfway point. You've had kind of the big maybe mid-session competition, like an obstacle course or whatever, and it's starting to wind down. You're actually kind of looking forward to the end of camp, right?
I was going to say, after last week's beer, you finally scored.
The thing is, I finally scored with a girl I didn't want to score with.
Yeah, but it was
the girl I'm not interested in.
It was dark. There were, romantic moods being set.
Exactly.
The odd thing, though, is your best friend has made friends with the gun trainer, and seems to be working his way into maybe getting his hands on some weaponry, and you're not sure what he's going to do with it.
The gun trainer. We really are back in like the early 80s.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think kids going to camp these days have access to weapons.
Hell, they do. Yes, they do.
All right.
In Texas? Are you kidding me?
No.
Yeah.
So what
That's
we've got
true.
is
That's
an Imperial brown ale brewed with cocoa nibs and honey. Let me give you just the quick rundown of this beer on the back. It showcases
Cocoa
the
nibs.
cooperation and kinship of Midwestern brewers. It features largely Midwestern-grown ingredients: Minnesota wild rice, Indiana honey, Missouri oats, Michigan hops, and cocoa nibs from Illinois, as well as Sierra Nevada's estate-grown malt. This is our centrally located collaboration celebrating the best of the Midwest. So in honor of Convention Week, or the convention fortnight that's about to start, we're literally basically having a beer from flyover country.
Yep.
Where in
It's like a red
Illinois
state beer.
they grow cocoa? How do you
Just
get
the
cocoa
nibs.
nibs from
Just the
Illinois?
nibs. Just the nibs. Not the whole cocoa. Just the nibs.
You get to assemble your own cocoa?
Yeah. It's like Cocoa Legos.
Well, this smells awesome.
It
Let's
comes from
drink
it.
it comes
does.
from Amazon. Let me crack this.
It
We
definitely
should
smells
mention
a
the
little
other-
brown,
It
but
smells brown.
with other wonderful notes added in.
Now let me just say,
It's making me drool.
this has a lot to stand up to because, as we all know, my favorite brown ale, of course, is Newcastle.
I'm sorry. So,
Delicious.
I'm going to save that because I'm going to drink. I don't want to talk anymore.
Okay. So here we go.
beer.
Our beer camp. Prost. Oh, that's hearty. My God, that's hearty.
Mm.
Rob's chewing the oats.
It's definitely a chewing kind of beer.
Mm-hmm.
Where's our ABV on this one?
A little bit of booze in there.
8.5. 8.5.
Yeah. Yeah, little bit of booze on that one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just a tad boozy.
Mm.
Definitely the biggest booze I've ever had in a brown.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever had any kind of Imperial brown. That's kind of a neat thing.
That is a unique style for a brown ale.
Yeah.
So, if I may,
Of course.
this beer is delicious. It's very tasty. It's got the real nice kind of roasted toffee or caramel taste to it, and the malt is so good. And I got the little cocoa nibs, just a little bit, just a hint, just a taste, just a bit, and it just finishes so good. And it's got a real nice, for me anyway, a nice bite to it. Like I said, it's very hearty. I'm really digging this, and like I said, it had a lot to live up to for the brown ales that I like. I will give this a wholehearted 9. It's very, very, very good. Very good.
What's today? Yeah, it's like a good hearty, like really strong, almost stout-like in a lot of ways, but without any of that kind of coffee flavor. It's definitely got a bit of a bite to it from the alcohol, which is not a bad thing. It's kind of got an interesting, almost, I want to say, tangy feel. The carbonation is really fine, and I think that adds to sort of a more bitey feel to it. Unfortunately, I can't really disagree with anything Rob said. So,
Yay!
it doesn't happen very often, so I'm going to have to go ahead and say, as Rob said, a 9. It's really good.
Yeah, very good.
So, I think, let's see, Ogdale Brewing Company, Dark Horse Brewing Company, Half Acre Brewing Company, Perennial Artisan Ales, and Sun King Brewing. So, good mix of brewers is Sierra Nevada there. This
may be thus far, my favorite Sierra Nevada beer I've ever had.
It is pretty good.
I'm not going to go that far, but it's good.
Me. All right, who's next on the hit parade?
I'll go. Definitely a lot of roasty grains in there. Not quite to the extent that you'd find in a stout or a porter, but more than a typical brown ale. You get a little bit of the cocoa coming out from the cocoa nibs. The only thing I think I don't like about it is the alcohol. It's a little
Too punchy?
that strong punch of alcohol kind of, I don't know, it doesn't feel right with the rest of the beer. That's just my taste. Other
It
than
is a
that,
bit like doing a shot of beer.
yeah, it's a lot of alcohol taste, and it's not that high. I mean, we've drank beers that are higher in alcohol content that didn't have quite the boozy
The burn.
flavor that this one does.
Wow.
I wish it wasn't summertime. This is like a cold weather, foggy
Very
winter
much
beer.
cold weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice, so I'm going to enjoy the second one. I'm going to give it an 8.
I don't recall you ever saying a beer had too much alcohol.
Not not too much alcohol in it, but the taste of the alcohol to me throws the beer a little out of balance. It doesn't
So is it
Yeah,
is it
the
doesn't
flavor,
work with the
the
other flavors.
flavor that's in the finish.
so is it
The
that
burn.
is it that there's too much alcohol, or you wish there was something else in it that covered or blended with that taste?
I wish there was something that complemented it a little better.
Okay.
The alcohol flavor to me in this beer doesn't balance with all the other flavors.
Yeah.
And sometimes like a real strong imperial stout, you can taste the alcohol, but the rest of the beer is so strong. The flavors of the chocolate malt and so forth are so strong that they balance each other out better. They're a little, I don't know. That's the only thing that I'm not enjoying is the stronger taste of the alcohol in this beer.
It's definitely
That's not to say I'm not going to enjoy it.
Mhm.
I will definitely enjoy the rest of this and the second one.
All right. Keith,
And then there was one.
will he
Well-
tank it or will he prop it up?
I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Browns. Even
You heard it here first. Keith is a racist.
yeah, that's right.
He hates the Browns.
Browns. I hate the Browns. No, the Ithaca makes a nice nut brown ale that I can get into in the fall. There's been a few browns. Even Genesee makes the honey brown that we've reviewed on the show pretty highly before. And I am like, it's such a mood thing for me. If I'm in the right mood, a brown will nail it. If I'm in a bad mood, I can't finish the glass. I don't know what it is about it. But this, and I think it's the addition of all the extra ingredients that really bring the complexity of what's a normal brown ale up, like 6 or 7 notches over what a normal brown ale is. And this is really good. I'm definitely in the Rob camp. This is a 9. I want to say it's the oats that really kind of tie everything together and smooth it all out. Almost like an oatmeal stout does for me. I can almost get that same silky texture out of it. And that makes me not care so much. I understand where Jeremy's coming from with the booze, but I just don't care. I don't just care. The rest of it's too good. I can easily ignore that, and I don't see it as a failing. If anything, it's the one thing keeping me from really chugging it, which is probably a good thing. So
My guess is too.
it's a little warning booze. It says, "Hey, dumbass, don't drink this."
Slow
My
down.
guess is too that as you drink more and more of it, you'll care less and less.
Well, with any luck, we'll find out on the show.
Hey. All right. So that's what's that, Gary?
An 8.75.
That's
And
darn good.
oddly enough, the Beer Advocate score is an 87. So
Damn.
we're exactly in line with that. And Untapped is a little lower. They're 3.77, so pretty close to what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
8.75 for us. That's a pretty highly rated beer for the PNR show.
Yeah, it's not often that all 4 of us agree this highly on something that is this strong a flavor too. So it's this is a good one, folks. I would say between the last two beers, they're worth the entry price for the beer camp box. Right
Yeah,
there.
buy that, drink those two, and give the rest to your friends.
Yeah, save it for. I mean, the other stuff was okay too, but man, these two were worth the price of admission.
Yeah,
And that's a pretty high price for the beer camp box. That was a pretty pricey box. So
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it. So far, camp's going pretty well. We have a couple more weeks of camp left, and then we'll bid a fond farewell to Camp PNR. You know, I've decided that my crush is not worth my time. She's just a fickle one, and I'm now having my eye on the on like Angela, the camp counselor. Just really put together nicely.
she's got all the right pieces in all the right places.
That's right. She's a woman among girls. Some more on that next week. All right, so we're gonna leave our.
To see how that analogy turns out.
We've traveled nicely to the pint, but now we're going to our topic segment, which is Pint Taken. Playing a little Tetris there.
It's the best segue music ever, or worse. I'm not sure which.
Jeremy asks in the chat room, I am always wondering where Rob is going with his analogies. The answer is everywhere and nowhere.
They always come around to something.
It's kind of a null set. All right. So tonight we have a must-discuss topic. It's in our show notes. Must discuss.
Must.
This week, in case you didn't know it and you've been under a rock, Star Trek Beyond, the third in the new Star Trek reboot series, comes to theaters, and not to be
known as the Abraverse.
That's right. Not to be outdone in marketing, Star Trek is actually debuting a official 50th anniversary beer. Jeremy, tell us about the 50th anniversary Star Trek.
You will never get it right, Willie.
Well, put it up. Was it you?
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Star Trek.
I thought you put it up. We need to start putting the names in the notes of who put the topic in.
I think it was the other Jeremy.
Gary, tell us about
it was the other shoe.
I'm just pouring my second beer and letting it out.
You know, Google Docs has this wonderful feature called history that shows you who made edits. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
You do. You just have to turn it on.
How do I do it? Open comments thread? No.
So they're doing a nice thing with this beer. Their 50th anniversary beer. They are calling the beer. What was the name? I lost it. But Golden Anniversary Ale, the Trouble with Tribbles, not triplets. I was thinking.
Whoops.
Trouble with Tribbles, yeah, which is a nod to the original episode, which was wasn't that the original? Not one of the. It was the first season of it. I can't remember if it was the first episode or not.
It was the second.
No, it was not the
but that's
first.
okay.
Yeah, it's not the first episode
That's okay.
by far.
Yeah, because it was with Kirk, not the original guy. Right?
That would be the 44th episode.
It's the second season. That's okay. We got you.
8.5% and no dinner. So there you go.
There you go.
Awesome.
So yeah, they're doing a that beer for the golden anniversary. Does it say what? I don't even see what style it says, but I'm certainly going to go out and buy it just because it's worth trying. And I'm wondering how many people are going to buy these beers and decide to save them for the collector value, even though probably the majority of the beer is going to go bad because people aren't going to store them properly and have beers that are designed to age.
Well, let me just say that I hope that the Star Trek beer is better than the Lord or the Hobbit beer, because that There were 4 of those, and they sucked ass. All 4 of them.
So bad.
They were so bad. They
Well,
were bad in
what
every
do you
sense of the
want
word.
when they're made by people with hairy feet? It's just stomp the grains.
Who's brewing this? Oh, Schmaltz.
Yeah, Schmaltz is brewing it, which
They
is
are,
not
man.
bode well.
To me, they are really mostly
So,
misses.
It's comprised of Comet, Polaris, Aurora, and Admiral Kirk hops. Get it?
Yeah.
The beer is only loosely filtered to clarity in order to preserve the ambiguity of good and evil.
Yeah. See, when you
It's just a way of
when
covering
you,
up your laziness.
yeah, when you choose your ingredients based on the names and nothing to do with the flavors and how
goes
they
well.
work well together, I don't. Not that I won't.
Never goes well.
I'll try it, but I'm
Oh,
not looking forward to it.
yeah. They are releasing it this week for Comic-Con in San Diego. So
Yes. SDCC. Anybody venturing to the theaters to see Star Trek Beyond?
I will probably go see it this weekend. It depends on timing of things.
Yeah, I will go see it, but it will not be this weekend.
Yeah, I will definitely see it in the theater. It depends on how badly my children want to go see it. I'll be the gauge. So
I've been mostly satisfied with the Star Trek reboot. Mostly.
What are the movies in the reboot? Have I seen any of these?
It's Star
Probably
Trek, just called Star Trek, and then there's Star Trek Into Darkness, and then this one is Star Trek Beyond.
I have no idea.
They're good. They're good.
they're really good, and you have to. They're even better if you're old like us and saw the original Star Trek movies and are familiar with the Star Trek universe. They're entertaining and compelling for people that aren't old like us. Like my kids really, well, not all of them, but 2 out of the 3, really liked them and enjoyed them. And I tried to get them to watch Wrath of Khan before we went to see it, and they had a really hard time sitting through Wrath of Khan, even though it's by many people's estimation the best of the Star Trek movies from the original set of movies.
For sure.
That's a very good movie.
Yeah. So
And that's coming from Jeremy.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, even I have seen that movie.
So it's a good one, but kids they don't have the patience to watch older movies because they're used to phones and video games and all that kind of crap.
Yeah, and the head writer and director of Star Trek II, Nicholas Meyer, is going to be one of the chief writers and producers on the new Star Trek series.
The TV show series?
Mm-hmm.
That's not available on Netflix in the U.S.?
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's another headline that came out this week.
You bastards! That's what I gotta say about that.
We're rubbing salt in your wounds, Keith.
For all of it, they've announced this, but it's been in the news for a while, and it's stirred up a bunch of anger amongst the geek community. And God knows you do not want to stir up the anger in a bunch of geeks. They will type for days. But the Star Trek series, the new Star Trek series coming out in the fall or at the end of the year, is going to be made available on this CBS All Access app.
January, as last I heard.
Yeah, January. They start filming in September.
Yeah.
But it will not be available on CBS, the broadcast network. It will only be available on the CBS All Access network, except
the pilot
the
episode.
first show. The pilot will be
shown.
Correct.
Yeah.
But then you have to pay for it. However, if you live in the other 188 countries of the world, you get to watch it.
Netflix.
You get to watch it on Netflix. It will be available on Netflix.
I have a subscription to Netflix. I use it every damn day. It's the most wonderful thing ever invented.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big Star Trek fan. I would totally watch Star Trek on Netflix. I have watched many a Star Trek on Netflix.
Yes.
But here in the States, CBS wants to gouge me and make me subscribe to their service if I want to watch this, of which there is no other interest for me other than Star Trek. If I were to live in, say, London, France, Germany, Mexico,
Yep.
Argentina.
The article says
Brazil?
188 other countries.
Yeah, I could get this with my regular Netflix subscription.
You could watch this in
Why are
Iran,
we-
in Iraq.
Why are we punishing America, CBS? Why are we punishing America?
We're gouging America.
That's fine if you want to have it on your thing and price it less than Netflix and make it as an alternative. But why give it to Netflix for everybody but the U.S. and just try to eke another $8 out of our freaking
Is that
wallets?
much? CBS is $8 for that app?
Yeah, it's just for
a
that
month.
Let me. I'm gonna say a word about CBS All Access, but first, let me just say a correction.
It blows.
A correction.
Hawaii Five-0 ain't worth it.
The new Star Trek series will only be available on Netflix outside of the United States and
Canada.
the U.S.'s hat, Canada.
Yeah. Well, there's already another deal for it there. It's not even going to be on CBS's app up there.
Now, let me tell you about CBS All Access, because I joined CBS All Access because of this new Star Trek series, but also because I'm a big Big Bang Theory fan. And CBS All Access...
Is that on All Access?
Well, that's interesting you asked that, Keith. Because they only have a few episodes on All Access. And any new series, they only have select episodes on the app. So CBS All Access app is anything but.
Yeah.
No, it's all
whatever
access.
they decided to put on.
No, it's all access to anything we want to give you.
It's almost access.
Almost access.
So I'm
That's
thinking
good.
if I pay
That's real good.
$8 a month, I would like to be able to, on CBS All Access, watch any Big Bang Theory episode I want.
You ought to get the bloody CBS catalog from the stuff that was aired yesterday all the way back through goddamn history through their archives.
And you
That's
do
what you ought
get
to do.
and you do get access to a bunch of old CBS shows. Like you can go back and watch old episodes of Hawaii Five-0 or I Love Lucy or a ton of other shows. But as far as all access, no.
So this is the kind of thing this type of stupidity is the reason that BitTorrent exists. So CBS will moan and bitch and complain about how Star Trek is now the most pirated show instead of Game of Thrones, and it's only because of their own ignorance and stupidity of doing things like this. If they made it available to people at a reasonable price, then people wouldn't use BitTorrent. I mean, most people pirate because they have no other option. So CBS is just contributing to piracy by doing this.
But partner with an already established streaming service. Partner with Hulu. Partner with Netflix. Partner with Amazon. You will, and then you already have an established audience, and you don't have to worry about running your own app, and you will still make tons of money.
They're just being greedy shits.
It's just stupid.
It is. The other, Netflix and Amazon. I have those services, and I have HBO now. We're still in our 30-day trial, but we're going to keep it. Netflix and Amazon, they've got their stuff pretty much figured out. They're pretty much bulletproof when it comes to streaming. We don't have a lot of issues. We were trying to watch a movie on HBO Now last night, and it kept pausing in the middle of the movie, and it's probably still using Amazon's content distribution network, but it's still pausing. So I agree. You partner with the people that know what they're doing, and you still make a lot of money. And there's no reason for this kind of nonsense within the streaming environment. Use Netflix, use Amazon, make your money off of their success, and you'll be fine, and you'll have a lot of happy fans and subscribers.
Right.
And whoever's doing that clangy thing needs to stop.
I mean, let's face it. You have an already established name, and there will be some geeks who will buy CBS All Access no matter what because it's Star Trek. I am one of them. However, there are going to be a bunch of folks who don't do it, who go to other sources like Gary has mentioned, and your show is going to end up being not as big as it could be had you done it right.
It'll be huge, but it'll be outside your control.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? After having that
He's
beer,
angry.
I've decided that the best decision I can make is to go do the Moxymoron since I forgot, or since I didn't have it in the last weekend.
That is an
So-
excellent decision.
That's a great idea.
You won't regret it.
So while Gary go gets in that, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So
Go fetch.
if next weekend I'm looking for divorce lawyers, you know why?
or she could be the happiest woman in the world.
After his manly chores are finished.
Well,
So while
no.
he goes,
She's going, I get a night off.
from Gary's chores. You missed it, which was before we turned on the show. Gary said he couldn't drink the second beer because he had chores to do. So we all know what that means. All right, so while he's doing that, let's talk about our other topic for the evening. Keith posted on Muozon, muozon.com, his lovely news of the day site, about the slow, sad, and ultimately predictable decline of 3D printing. And it's true, you don't really hear much about 3D printing lately.
I don't know about that. There's a ton of new 3D printers out there. Depending on where you look, I mean, it's 3D printing is in its Wild West days.
Okay.
It is.
Internet.
Yeah, or like the days when
But
computers
not
were being built by people at home.
Mm.
You know, or the first kits were being ordered and you had to assemble them yourself. You know, that's kind of where 3D printing is, and it's
That's like Rutgers, it's not the Wild West.
Okay, fine.
It hasn't figured out what it's supposed to be yet. People haven't.
Well, right now, I mean, there are more 3D printers in America than ever before because the prices are coming down too.
And what's interesting is people have figured out what it's for, but it's the people who are figuring out what it's for are creative people who are artists who are not using it the way this article's author has a vision in his head that it should be used.
Right.
And the article is saying, well, 3D printing is dead because I tried to print a water bottle cage holder for my bike and it broke. And I can buy one for $4. No, okay, so if you can buy something for $4, why did you try to print it?
Right.
That's really not where 3D printing shines.
No.
Where it does shine is something like a project I saw where somebody printed something that you could not manufacture. They printed a sundial that shows, as the sun goes through it, it projects numbers on a surface. And as the sun moves,
I saw that.
the numbers change.
I showed that to
show
Keith.
the time.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
That kind of thing, that's the kind of thing that 3D printing excels at because you couldn't manufacture that. It's way too complicated to manufacture. But now it exists. So that's the kind of thing that 3D printing
And now that it
really
exists,
good at.
it could be manufactured. But it wasn't.
The medical profession itself is talking about what a revolution 3D printing can be in the prosthetics or the parts for prosthetics or surgical tools or implements or implants, things that they may be able to manufacture that are just way too complicated for human hands or even robotics to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes beyond that. I mean, the food service industry is starting to take on 3D printers. You're going to be able to get 3D printed and 3D decorated cakes soon. Custom shaped cheeses and other, pâtés and other things.
Oh my goodness, Keith.
That sounds
wrong.
Jesus.
It does. It does sound wrong, but it's going to look beautiful at your next high-end buffet.
But it's just like DVDs or CDs. They were astronomically expensive and prohibitive. Very few people had them. And gradually, once people figured out what they could do with them, and there was more competition as more companies figured out how to manufacture them cheaper, they became more widespread. So I mean, I agree. I don't think it's dead. I think
No.
it may be in a bit of a news lull. I haven't heard much about 3D printing lately, but that doesn't mean just because my stupid head isn't seeing it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's nice.
my head is more in the tech world, and we still hear 3D printing stuff all the time. If you just go to Amazon and search 3D printers, there's one up there for $300.
It's a small one, though, right? It's like a little...
Well, it'll print up to 7 by 7 by 9. So, I mean, that's good size things that you can print.
Yeah.
And this website that claims 3D printing is in decline and dying,
Business Insider.
maybe not the most technically relevant website on the planet.
That's true.
All right.
So it's an interesting article. I thought it was unique take because I was definitely not seeing that same type of feeling, certainly from the maker community, which is
what I
really
like about the
adopting
article?
this stuff.
Sorry, yeah, I really like
Go ahead.
this article because it's written by someone that appears to be grumpier than me.
Get off my 3D printed lawn!
That's awesome. Speaking of 3D, does anyone maybe see a lull or a decline in 3D movies? I mean, they were all the rage a few years ago, and
Never the rage.
Yeah, there was always a backlash, a strong backlash against them as a movie.
I'm done with 3D movies. I'm just done.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in years. I think that Avatar might have been the last 3D movie I saw.
And Avatar was good in 3D. I liked it in 3D.
What I haven't seen any more of in the last few years now is the 3D TVs that were being pushed like 2 and 3 years ago.
Yeah, we're on to 4D
It was
now.
all marketing.
4K. It's all
4K is way more interesting than
the
3D.
curved TVs.
Yeah.
That's curved TVs is stupid, but 4K and ultra high
I don't know.
definition.
There are some 4K curved computer monitors that showed up at my office the other day, and those things are freaking amazing.
I could use a curved monitor only
Yeah.
because
I think
it
that's
would really.
I think that's
Because
the
you're
application, is because you're right here, you're right inside the curve.
Can I
Out
ask?
of my living room.
It's gotta be freaking huge to make that curve make a difference.
Can I ask if
Yeah.
it's curved because it's overused?
No. Not yet, anyway. I haven't gotten my hands on
Well, hey! It's that kind of humor, folks, on the Point of No Return show. Let's not lag any longer. Let's move right on to our topic segments. It's Half Pints time. Hit it.
I'm Batman.
That's it.
That's all you get.
I'm Batman.
Michael Keaton. Just a quick hit, Michael.
I'm Batman. I can talk about Moxie Moron though.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
please.
yeah.
Oh yeah, before the topics. Yes, Gary, hit us up with how do you like the Moxie?
This is freaking amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Now you had a premonition you were going to go with Jeremy's vote of a 10 before having even tasted it. What do you think now?
I think I'm going to go with the 9 instead of a 10. It's really good. Yeah, I mean, Jeremy's. We're usually right in line with stuff, but yeah, it's an amazing IPA. It's like got these wonderful tropical fruity notes going on, and especially after having a previous 8.5% beer, it's going down really easy. This is like an amazing summertime beer. As much as the Family Values was a great cozy up by the fire beer, this is a great hang out and drink in the warm weather beer. So, and since I live in Petaluma and it's cold and foggy here a lot, it'll be warm during the day, so this is your daytime beer. And then at night when the fog rolls in, you move to your Family Values. So it's actually a really nice pairing. So I'm going to go with a 9 instead of a 10.
All right. Very good. So, I mean, I think I was a 9, and Jeremy was a 10, and Keith, were you
I was a 9.
9?
I was
So
a 9
nine-
only because I was comparing it to Pliny, and I still thought Pliny was a better beer overall.
So I dropped Moxie Moron to 9.2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought this was definitely, if we did percentage points, this was probably a 9.9, where Pliny is the perfect 10.
And to me, the flavors in the Moxie are so different than the flavors in the Pliny. It was hard to compare.
It is really hard to compare. But I just kind of pictured it as, after sipping that, as, would I rather trade this in for a Pliny? Yeah, I would.
I think I would take him and pour him into the same glass.
Whoa!
So not to
that would
That's
make
okay.
my head
That's a
hurt.
bold statement right there.
Yeah.
not to toot our own horn, but we were really, really close with the brown ale, and we were at a 9.25 overall for the Moxie Moron, and Beer Advocate had it at an 88. So we're, doing pretty good right now.
We're learning about those beer things.
Is Beer Advocate really the authority now? Because if you look at the number of ratings things have on Beer Advocate, like
101.
I don't have the Moxie Moron up, but on
101. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Family Values has 93, right?
Yeah.
Beer Advocate was slow and not great when it finally did get to the app.
Where are you looking?
So for Beer Camp Family Values, it says 360 ratings for that beer. If you look at that beer on Untappd, you're probably looking at 20,000 ratings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's
24,000 ratings, and they rate it at a 3.84, which is about a 76 out of 100. 77.
So.
What you need to understand about Beer Advocate was it started before apps were a thing, and it was kind of like it grew out of a forum. You know, it was this niche thing that only real beer aficionados used and knew about as a way to find out and trade even other beers. It was a big site for trading beers back in the day. But they were very, very, very slow, and in fact, half of their user base demanded apps from them, and they said, no, we weren't going to do it. And then they said, no, we're waiting to do it right. And then when they finally put out an app, it was terrible, and Untappd just ate their lunch. So I think Untappd is definitely the source for
I do like the
beer reviews these days.
So what you're saying is Beer Advocate is dead to us.
Well, it's a useful reference. It just shouldn't be the only one.
It's a different audience.
Yeah.
I think Beer Advocate.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
I think Beer Advocate tends to have people who are a little more dedicated or hardcore beer fans.
They're more of the beer snobs.
It's a different audience.
Yeah.
So we are trying to be of the people.
Yeah.
So we go with
I think Untappd shows a general, although definitely sways towards the craft beer lover. It shows more of a general, population type vote.
Not to
I also think that Untappd.
Whereas Beer Advocate would be your congressional college, the Untappd is the direct vote.
Not to distract, but I'm trying to read the books on Jeremy's shelf. I see an Iceland book. There's a Pilates book over there. Can't quite read them all.
What can you
How's the Pilates going?
Yeah.
Well, I'm stretching a lot. I'm getting really flexible and sexy.
He's doing his downward dog. Oh, that's yoga. Sorry. Wait, go back. What is the?
I like to call that flexi.
Oh, no, I'm looking over.
Here's your favorite right here. I don't know if you can see this, so I got to show it.
Oh, I know what that is. All right, yep.
Oh, yeah.
I had that same exact volume book. Actually, that book was a gift from my buddy Keith. I have that very book.
Keith,
that is my favorite book of all time.
Yeah.
You're a good guy, Keith.
We should do an entire episode on Hitchhiker's Guide.
No.
Oh, that would be good.
That would be fun.
I could do a podcast series on Hitchhiker's Guide.
I am, by the way, to touch back on a topic we talked before, I am putting together my components to do the BSG Weekly Show.
Really? Okay.
I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to do it.
I'm watching episode 2 tonight, so.
Ooh, that's 33? Yeah. All right, sorry. Let's get back on track. Our topic segments. Jeremy's first.
These are
topics. The list. Jeremy has some music he'd like to expose us all to with a very strange name.
My pick tonight is Chugalaga. This is the new single from the Pixies. And I don't. If you're a Pixies fan, you've seen their maybe their last album was not your favorite. It was a little bit of a departure from their classic sound. They went through a couple of bassists, and it seems like the band has stabilized. And this sounds like classic Pixies. It is a really good rockin' song. Go give it a listen. Chagalaga.
If you had asked me before saying all that, if the Pixies were still around, I would have said no.
Still
If you
around.
asked me to
I would
name,
say that's a great classic band. I know, but we haven't heard anything new.
if you asked me to name a Pixies song, I couldn't do it.
Oh, I bet you could. You would recognize a song.
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
you couldn't name it. but
I'm
you would
looking through their
recognize
top
the song.
10 hits.
How about Here Comes Your Man?
No.
Really?
I saw the Pixies in concert when I was going to school at San Jose State. I didn't even know who they were, but it was on campus and it was relatively cheap. And I just went, and it was a lot of fun. It was a good show.
Yeah, the Pixies are pretty
They're a
awesome.
fun band.
And they definitely had a nice influence on the punk and rock scenes, but
Yeah.
They got a naked chick on one of their album covers. That's cool.
I haven't
That's
listened to
listen.
the Pixies in a while.
Surfer Rosa, and that is a classic. That's one of their best albums.
I've been tired. And they sing in Spanish half the time. Well, that just makes it accessible. Okay. So check out the Pixies. Sprinkle a little dust on them. All right, Gary's. I'm thinking Gary's pick this week looks like it's an app. Am I right, Gary?
Yeah. Being the short week between Thursday and Monday, I had to think fast to try to come up with something. And when Jeremy posted in Slack that he had no pick for this week, I quickly went to the doc and put in Tracky Train because I don't think anybody's picked that yet, and it really surprised me. So if you're a Crossy Road or Shooty Skies fan, Tracky Train. Tracky Train is the app for you, so you should check that out. It's got pretty good gameplay. I have an iPhone 5, and it misses about a third of my swipes, so that makes it really harder to play. I look at it as more of a challenge. But if you're on a newer phone that was probably made in the last 18 months as opposed to the last 4 years, it probably plays really well, and you'll do a lot better than I'm doing. So it's fun. It's good. You can play a game in a matter of 15 seconds if you're me on a crappy phone, or if you have a good phone, probably lasts a few minutes. So it's kind of like the stand in line at the grocery store, play a quick game while you're taking a dump.
So
you
it
can
looks
play a
like
quick game. It's fun.
It looks like in Tracky Train you are a track layer laying down the track for a train that's coming up behind you, and you're steering your way around like fields of, I don't know, maybe Denmark?
Obstacles. They have different things. So they have a desert scene, they have a snow scene, they have a military base scene, and there's obstacles. So you have to navigate around, and you try to get the train to pick up passengers along the way. And picking up passengers slows the train down. It gives you more time to lay more track. And then also dropping off passengers slows the train down. So you're trying to stay ahead of the train and not let the train catch up to you.
So you're saying, if all things being equal, if the train does not pick up anyone, it's going to catch up to you?
Yeah, I'll just run you over. So it gets faster as you go. So the more track you lay, the faster the train goes.
Hey now, the more track you lay. Hey. Kaboom.
We're back to Gary's manly chores.
I've
Keep
got
it
it
classy for
downloaded, and I'm
2013.
playing some Tracky Train. All right. Keith, what is your pick for this week?
I've got a double, two mini picks that I'm just going to hit real quick. They're both apps. Well, one of them's mostly an app. Anyway, not important. You remember when iPhone first came out and the first games were hitting it, and they were all weird, different physics puzzlers?
Sure.
They were.
Yeah.
You had to get the ball, and you had to get it on the ramps, and you had to line the ramps up the right way, and you twist your phone back and forth.
Oh, they had that game where the was it Mousetrap or the one where you tilt the table?
Oh,
around?
Labyrinth. Yeah, Labyrinth.
Yeah. And then they had that one where you drew with a little crayon the different lines you needed the balls to follow and stuff. I don't know, different variations on that. I've recently gotten back into one that's kind of a throwback to those. It's called Perchang, Perchang. And it's a cool little physics puzzler where you're trying to get the balls from one side of the map to the other. And you have two controls. One of them usually controls a lever, and the other one controls a fan, and you try to time everything right to get them back to the other side. But what's really cool about this game is how well designed it is. It is just beautiful. It's simple, it's elegant, but it's detailed and like 3D looking enough that it's just gorgeous to watch. So if nothing else, I find myself dropping all my balls just watching.
Hey,
There you go. Dropping all my balls just watching the gameplay physics just hit. So that's really cool. That's my little half pick game. And the other one I have, I've probably picked before a long time ago, but it came into focus again in this last week with all the different news things that came up. And Twitter's a great source for news, but it's full of a lot of chaff. And sometimes you want to just go to the source and see what is actually happening. And for me, the best way to get through that unfiltered is actually go and look at the British television version of it. So I tend to fall towards Sky News, which I discovered because it was an app on my Apple TV, which is in England. It's the Fox News of England, but because it's owned by.
That's a really good endorsement.
It's owned by Rupert Murdoch.
It is owned by Murdoch, so it's the Fox News of England. But because in England, they actually still take journalism seriously, it's completely watchable and pretty much unbiased too. I think it's really well done, and they have a 24-hour news station, and you can get it on your Apple TV. You can get the app for it on your iPhone or iPad. And for me, it was the quickest way to get at videos of shootings. And when the events in Turkey were happening, I got instantly into play-by-play reviews of the British anchors talking over and looking at the different videos that were coming out of Turkey and making their assessments. And it was way better than anything that was on CNN, way better than anything that was coming off of Twitter, because it was just condensed and concise and just the news of what is going on right now.
So that does not sound like Fox News.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's Fox News because it's owned by Murdoch, but because England is England and they take journalism seriously, it's actually worthwhile. So
you're saying that in England news is news and not entertainment?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's less entertainment.
It's less so. It's the way America used to be.
I always looked at Fox News and The Daily Show as kind of equivalents in terms of their realism.
Yeah.
So you're saying, okay.
I'm just saying it's worth a try. Sky News, it's free on the Apple products, and if you've got an Apple TV, it's already on your Apple TV. You just either have to enable it or go find it.
So
and the live feed from that is real time. So for us, like if I'm looking at something at the end of the day, it's the overnight in England, but they're just reading through headlines, and they've got different guests on talking about and giving their opinions on headlines, but they make it clear it's their opinions. When live stuff is happening, they're covering it live, and they're just showing you what they say. It's really good.
Rupert Murdoch takes much less of a hand in what happens on Sky News. He's much more devoted to actual Fox News, so he kind of lets his news director or head of news division kind of go with that.
Well, and I think too
he's had to because of that the recent phone hacking scandal, which is part of Sky News.
Yeah.
He's
I think
of
the British government requires a lot of that too.
Yeah.
So they own
really the one of the best things to come out of the thing with Turkey on Friday was the memes for Boris, the UK's new foreign secretary. Hit every 5 or 6 posts. It seems like he would pop up with a new meme, and the photos of this guy that are floating out there are just amazing.
All right, so I actually have 2 picks this week as well. To tag on to Keith's news pick, I'd like to give you a website to try. I'm still in the trying it out stages as well. And it's called 180report.com. It's a news aggregate site, which if you don't know what that is, if you've ever heard of the Drudge Report, that's a news aggregate site. It's not a news site in and of itself. It provides links to news stories from any number of sources.
Much as you would say Muson.com does.
Yes, exactly. But probably in a little more of a condensed version. It just gives you like a link to the headline, and you just click and it takes you there, rather than like to this. There's usually not a description of the article. Not to disparage Muson. Muson's wonderful, and you should try Muson. But you should also try 180report.com. I've kind of gotten disillusioned with Drudge of late, because well, for a lot of reasons. Anyway, on 180report.com, it has a series of aggregate headlines, and if you click them, you can go to them just like you would the Drudge Report. But up in the top right-hand corner of the screen, there is a left-right button. And if you click on the button, it'll switch and give you articles on the same exact topic, but written from the opposite political perspective. So, for example, one of the articles is there were 100 naked women who stood outside the RNC.
How did you know I was looking at that?
Yeah, it's hard to. Your men's eyes are just drawn towards the word naked. But so if that's on the right portion of the site, but if you click over to the left, the site has the same article, but going to a different website to talk about what it's about. So it has a bunch of topic categories at the top, so you could sort it out by sports if you want to just look at sports articles, or entertainment, or anything really that it has available. So I'm enjoying it, actually. I make no bones about it that I'm pretty much a conservative guy, but I do like to read articles from the opposite perspective. I don't close my mind to what other people think just because it differs from what I think. I often find that helps to better inform my opinions. So 180.com seems to be pretty evenly matched in terms of finding good articles written by pundits on both sides. So since I'm kind of disillusioned with Drudge Report, I've decided to give that a try. So you should too.
I like the idea of the concept of showing both sides, and
yeah.
Although the naked women article is the same thing on both sides because it's just naked women.
Because naked women doesn't have a side. Every side of a naked woman is good.
Well, you have the one side, the Republican side, that says, "Oh, how offensive this is, and how could you do this?" And then the left-leaning article is about what a bold statement this is for women's rights. And then you have my side, which is just like women nude in public, just a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Just a good
thing. I think we can all come together on that.
We can all come together. All right. So my other pick for the week is a series that I've just started. I've said this on the show before, and I think most of the guys out there who watch entertainment, Jeremy excluded, would agree that
he's the Wrath of Khan.
Sorry,
just last week, but yes.
Most of you, that the three of you guys would agree that some of the best television actually now comes from the streaming services.
Yeah.
Yes.
Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime. I mean, HBO and AMC still put out some good stuff, but a lot of great shows are coming from Netflix. And I just started watching one that released about a week ago. It's called Stranger Things. And Stranger Things is a new Netflix series. It's about 4 kids living in the 1980s, the early 80s. And there is kind of a supernatural or paranormal thing happening in their little tiny town. And these kids are uber geeks. The first scene of them is them playing Dungeons and Dragons, and And
What you're
suddenly
saying is it's us if we grew up in the same town.
it's if you liked E.T. or you got a really big kick out of watching
War games.
War Games, yeah. What was the one that J.J. Abrams just put out?
Super 8.
Super 8. It
I
really
put this
evokes.
cross out, like, so
It
good.
really evokes that kind of a feel, right down to, I mean, they spared no expense to even do the goofy 80s music themed along with this. It's awesome so far.
Wow, that sounds good.
It stars, although, I mean, they're not in it all the time, but it stars Winona Ryder, who is also a great 80s icon of her own right, and Matthew Modine, another 80s guy. And Matthew Modine actually plays the villain in the show so far. I'm only one episode in, and I'm already hooked. It's a really great mystery, paranormal, science fiction-y type show, and I can't wait to see where it goes, and I recommend you give it a try. Stranger Things.
What's
All right.
the age range on that one? Like Keith and I have like Keith's daughter's what, 13, 14 now?
Yeah, but I don't let her watch TV.
Okay.
There was some swearing in it. There was some S-bombs
They
and
they
stuff
hear
like
that shit
but
from me all the time, so that's
there
okay.
you go. Yeah, I would say it's fine then for them. If you don't, I don't know, Keith, what the monster or the big baddie is of the show yet, so I don't know if it's going to be disturbing or not. They didn't give much away, so couldn't say.
Okay.
I think it's rated PG-13.
Okay.
So definitely cool. Gary, when you start watching it and you hear the theme music from this, it's so 80s. It's right down to the tinny synthesizer. It's great. It is awesome.
Okay.
So,
That's what, we're not watching Battlestar Galactica tonight. We're watching that.
yeah, I hope you like it. Okay, guys, any final thoughts from week 4 of Beer Camp?
Silence! I kill you!
Okay, so that's Ahmed the Dead Terrorist chiming in.
I would say probably not a good idea to follow up a 7.5 beer and an 8.5 beer before you've had dinner. Plan.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good.
Let me just give a slightly serious note then, and we'll end on a lighter thing. I'm sure I speak for all 4 of us when I say our hearts go out to the families and loved ones of the fallen officers, Dallas and Baton Rouge. I think I'll say for myself, I'll let the guys say whatever they want to say, but I think there's a lot of anger and stuff on all sides, and I think we're just a better country than this, in a lot of ways, and I think that we really need to start coming together and talking.
Yeah, we're better than this is certainly a sentiment that applies to these situations.
So, and give the conventions, both conventions, a watch over the next 2 weeks. Love it or love them or hate them. Have your candidate or don't have your candidate. I'm pretty sure it's going to be riveting television. We're seeing something we've never seen before in both parties, and there could be some unforgettable moments.
There could, but I'm pretty sure neither party has our candidate.
I'm positive of that.
I'm definitely positive of that too. But I think in because of that, and I think we're not alone. A lot of America feels that way too. I think we're in for some historical stuff. So this is the stuff that you're going to be able to tell your kids about that you were there for, because this stuff hasn't ever happened before, and it likely won't happen again. I hope.
And then there obviously could be some bad things, but who knows? Maybe some good can come out of it too. But I think Keith is exactly right. This
is history, man.
This is where we start saying we've gotten to the age where we can start saying, I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime, and it could be, again, stuff you talk about for years. So should be good watching.
Yeah. I fear for the country, but yeah. It'll be an interesting watch.
It'll be entertaining.
There was an article on Medium. I don't know if you guys are on Medium.com.
Yeah, I read there a lot.
There was an article about how politics got to that point.
Yeah.
Like an overview of the last, 80 years of American politics. It was really quite interesting. If you are at all curious about that, I will try to find that posted in the Slack.
Yeah, I'd like to read that.
The Medium's an
Tomorrow,
interesting
maybe.
place for stuff like that. It's definitely good to peruse. A lot of essays that would be letters to the editor back when papers mattered.
Right. So yeah, give those things a try, and absolutely give Sierra Nevada's Family Values Imperial Brown Ale a try.
Yeah, I'm not kidding when I say last week's beer and this week's beer are worth the price of admission. That's 4 beers that are easily worth the $30 you're going to buy that box for. Go get it. Yeah, definitely. And we haven't had the last 2 yet. Wait till we do those.
All right. So from all of us here, thanks for watching, and Keith's going to play us out.
Have luggage and life. I'll take a strong stout over strife.
Or listening, if you listen. I was listening to the podcasts from last week today, actually. It was good. I laughed out loud.
Liquor is to no avail, so bring me lager for life. I'll take a strong stout over strife.
Quick, Keith. Yeah, I was going to say, quick, Keith, drop that little thing again. Oh, my God, we share a brain. Oh, it's too funny. I was going to say, Keith, drop that thing again. I swear.